Thanks for listening to the NVTV podcast, produced by Nequa Media.
Welcome to this episode of the NVTV podcast. I'm Annika Shandok. On today's show, we'll be meeting with some members of Nequa's varsity girls lacrosse team, as well as exploring a bit about team dynamics on and off the field. Joining me today are two varsity players, Brooke Kirchner and Ella DeBezic. Thank you guys for being here today. I want to start by asking how long each of you have been playing. Brooke, let's start with you.
I've been playing for 10 years.
And then I've been playing for 2 years since my sophomore year.
That's exciting. What made you guys get into the sport?
My dad played when he was a little kid, and then my mom played, and she was like the team manager at Rutgers. So they kind of got me into it when I was little.
Oh, awesome. And then Ella, you said you started because of friends?
Yeah, I honestly just wanted to try something new, and lacrosse was it for me.
That sounds super fun. Let's start with the basics. What does a typical day of practice look like for you guys?
We start by just like stretching and passing, and then normally we go like into drills, and we just kind of do shooting, a little bit of defensive stuff, just kind of like that.
And then usually we end off on like a scrimmage or like steal the bacon, which is kind of basically like a 1v1 or 2v2 scrimmage. But a lot of the drills are led by the captains, which I think is very fun.
That sounds super fun. It sounds like there's a lot of preparation that goes into every game. Would you say that having such a united team creates less pressureful scenarios during games?
Yeah, I mean, I think like especially going into games, like especially like when they're away games, like the buses and stuff, that's what makes it really fun, like blasting music on the bus and just kind of talking to each other. That's what kind of really like unifies us a lot and makes it a lot less stressful.
I mean, definitely since we're such a tight-knit family, I feel like the pressures of the game definitely decrease because we're all just trying to like have fun as a team and a family.
Yeah, I agree. I think when I was playing a sport, the team was always the most important part, and it just made things the most enjoyable.
Yeah.
I heard this year there's going to be a new head coach for girls lacrosse varsity team. Would you guys tell me a little bit about him?
Gary Cope. He's awesome. We've talked to him a couple of times. He seems super nice and welcoming. He has a lot of background, actually.
Yeah, he was the head coach at the COD team, but kind of after they transferred to just a club sport there, he came to Nequa. But he helped with the JV team at Lockport High School as well, and he's just kind of been around the game for a long time, so we're excited to see somebody new and see what he can bring.
That sounds super fun. Was there a reason, like, the last coach quit, or was it just, like, you guys want a little change? Do you not know?
She left because she moved really far away, and she was getting married. So I think, like, after she moved and was getting married, she kind of just didn't want to have, like, the added pressure of stuff of also coaching lacrosse and having another full-time job as well. So.
Okay, that's pretty exciting, like a little something new for everybody. Do you guys have any fun traditions you like to do on and off the field? I know you talked about the bus ride on the way to games, but do you guys have, like, I know a lot of sports do pasta parties, if that means anything to you guys.
Yeah, the pasta parties are definitely probably one of my favorite parts. I mean, we all have fun at practice, but you also have to be, like, professional at some points. But at pasta parties, that's when I feel like the jokes and the family really, like, gets together and just has a great time.
Yeah, every year we do that. We have, like, the boys versus girls game in the beginning of the year, and so that's pretty fun, too. Trying to think. We have, like, other, like, smaller traditions, kind of. Last year we had, like, a snowboard at the end of each game, and that was, like, the MVP got to, like, take a picture with the snowboard and got to sign it. So different stuff like that. We try and, like, dress up or do something fun for Friday practices, stuff like that.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I know a lot of sports do, like, a little stuffed animal mascot, but the snowboard sounds super cool. I bet all that stuff makes practice and games super fun. So I know there is a guys lacrosse team here at Nequa, and I feel like a lot of times when you go to girls sports games, there's just not as many people in the stands for that sort of game versus when you watch the guys. Do you guys think girls lacrosse gets a lot of recognition, or at least a fair amount?
I mean, I actually do see a lot of the guys lacrosse players come to our games, and they're cheering us on the whole time, which they're very supportive of our team.
Yeah, I agree. I think normally if we have a game or if the boys have a game, the other one has practice. So like if we have a game, then the boys are having practice behind the stadium. So most of the time, once their practice is done, they'll come and watch our game after. But I'm trying to think. I think in general, girls lacrosse is kind of known as like a fun sport. So I think instead of people like watching it, they just kind of join it because we're really welcome to new people and really welcoming to seeing new people. We want to grow the game, even if it is just like a fun sport for you to do just in the spring. Like we're excited just to have that, you know. So kind of stuff like that. But we're hoping this year maybe to have some more people come to different games. We hope to have more commemoration games. Like we're gonna have like a mental health game this year and different stuff like that. So we hope to have people come out to those, but we'll see.
Yeah, I know just with the lacrosse season approaching this spring, I've heard a lot of people talking about how they were considering picking up lacrosse as a new sport. Brooke, I know you've been quite the advocate last year about that. Have you gotten anyone to join that you know for sure is going to be on the team?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of girls from girls soccer or softball, like that kind of stuff, have just decided that it wasn't the path that they wanted to take anymore. And so they kind of decided that they want to join. But I mean, even you, Annika, last year I got you to play. But yeah, so far, just off the top of my head, there's probably 5 different people that I think I've gotten to join or at least consider it, which is exciting because, you know, lacrosse isn't necessarily a big sport, so we're excited to have new people join.
Yeah, I actually loved playing lacrosse last year. I'm definitely considering joining again this year. I've asked some other people to just try out this year just so that we can have a bigger team, and I think that'd make it more fun for everybody. Speaking of that, do you guys have any advice that you give to some players that are just starting out, like whether they're our age or younger or anything?
Well, I mean, I literally started sophomore year, like pulled up YouTube videos on how to play lacrosse. I had no experience beforehand, and the JV team is just so welcoming and really teaches you the basics and fundamentals of lacrosse. And I feel like there's like such a stigma sometimes about like high school sports to like always be like super competitive and super tough, and like that's a lot of pressure on 14 through 18-year-old girls. So I feel like lacrosse is like very welcoming, and I'm not saying it's easy, but it's like easy to pick up, and we're a good team and we're good at like supporting each other. So I think
Yeah, I would agree. I think that the biggest thing is that like some people get nervous joining freshman year, like, or after freshman year. Like, there's a bunch of juniors joining this year, but some people get too nervous because a lot of sports are that way. Like, once the team starts freshman year, like, you don't want to join after that. But I think lacrosse is actually the opposite way. Like, we'd love to have anybody join, and I think it's just super fun. And don't get discouraged about dropping the ball once, you know, like that. I mean, I still drop the ball all the time. I've been playing for 10 years, you know, so it just happens. And don't get discouraged by, like, the little things because everybody makes mistakes, especially when learning a new sport.
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys. I feel like when I joined last year, I saw a wide variety from freshmen to sophomores and juniors and seniors. Just everyone was just having a good time with their friends and meeting new people. And it was honestly a great environment. So I definitely recommend to anyone listening to give girls lacrosse a try. Speaking of, Brooke, I know you said you've been playing for about 10 years. Do you have any plans to continue your lacrosse career in the future?
Yeah, so I'm committed to play D1 lacrosse at Virginia Commonwealth University. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then obviously I'll finish out my club lacrosse career and my high school lacrosse career. So that's all pretty exciting, yeah.
That's awesome. And I know, Ella, I think you said you picked it up in your sophomore year. Are you planning to continue that?
Yeah, we're on opposite ends of this spectrum right now. No, I'm just going to Illinois State for elementary education.
Okay, awesome. That sounds so exciting. Brooke, I'm really happy for you. Congratulations on going D1.
Thank you.
Well, I just want to say thank you guys for coming today. That is unfortunately all the time we have. So I'd like to give a shout out to Ella DeBezic and Brooke Kirchner for joining us today on the NVTV podcast. I'd also like to thank Freddie Rook for his help in putting this podcast together. The NVTV podcast is produced by media students at Neuqua Valley High School. Enjoy the rest of your day.